Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the closing and awarding ceremony of the 2015 FIVB World Grand Prix of Omaha, Nebraska.
Thanks to those of you who have stuck around for the closing ceremonies and the award ceremonies for the FIVB World Grand Prix here in Omaha, Nebraska. Podiums are out on the floor, and there will be the awarding of the individual awards for best performances, the best players at each individual position, and then the team awards. The United States took home the gold, Russia the silver, and Brazil the bronze. First award is for the best outside hitter. The #1 best outside spiker award will be presented by Mr. Roger Dixon, President and CEO of Mecca Omaha, and Natalia Pereira chosen as the best outside hitter from the bronze medal winning team from Brazil. There is Mr. Dixon.
Well, Nat's going to be delighted with that. It's a good opportunity for her. She's proved that she's one of the best spikers here, got an award for it, and in her quest to be part of that team for the Olympics.
Already an Olympic gold medal winner and part of the World Championship bronze medal team from 2014. Natalia Pereira from Brazil, selected as the #1 best outside hitter. And now the next award will be for the second best outside hitter. This is all based, of course, on statistics production throughout the course of the tournament. Kelsey Robinson of the United States also should include in that. They're the primary receivers, Clayton, as well, so that's got to be taken into consideration. Kelsey Robinson of the United States. This award is being presented by Mr. Tom O'Gorman, VP of Corporate Sales and Marketing at CenturyLink Center, building that has been our host throughout the course of this last 5 days. Also wonderful practice facilities next door in the adjacent convention center. Taking the ceremonial photographs, Kelsey Robinson. So Natalia Pereira, the #1 outside hitter. Congratulations to her. A superb player from Brazil, and Kelsey Robinson was the second best outside hitter. Best middle blocker now. Giusiele Cristina Barreto, the #1 best middle blocker from Brazil. This event will be presented by Mrs. Amy Hornacher, Director of Events for the Omaha Sports Commission, which was the organizing body that brought this World Grand Prix Finals to this Midwestern city.
Giusiele was good not only defensively but also really good offensively this tournament.
So congratulations, Giusiele, joining her teammate Natalia Pereira as an award winner here at this edition of the World Grand Prix. The World Cup still to come. That's what all of these teams will be fighting for, one of those 2 Olympic spots. Brazil doesn't have to worry about it as the host. Their team is already qualified. They want to play. Brazil wants to play, and so do the men. They want to play in the World Cup. Second best middle blocker, Krista Dietzen from the United States. Nice that a number of people have stayed around, quite frankly, because the United States match was at 3 o'clock local time this afternoon. They played early to accommodate domestic television, and here it is. Well, probably at least 3.5 hours after the match was concluded. A number of people stayed here, and so another award and a nice chunk of change for Krista Dietzen.
Yeah, a lot of the reason people have stayed behind, and they have done actually during the course of the week, is because of the fact that the volleyball has been excellent. And it's really hooked them in, and they wanted to stay and watch more.
This award presented by Mr. Mark Rath, Assistant Director of Sales for the Omaha Convention Visitors Bureau. Even the marathon last night, you know, people had virtually no rooting interest, and they stayed here until 10:45 last night. The match was 2 hours and 48 minutes long as Italy narrowly prevailed over Japan. And as we thought, Anna Malova, much deserved. This might have been the easiest award to pick. Anna Malova, the best libero. Mrs. Lori Okamura presenting the award, the chairman of the board of directors of USA Volleyball.
Some spectacular defensive plays from Malova. And also she did really well at organising the passing unit as well, made sure that worked well, which is ultimately why Russia have got themselves into the silver medal contention, taking the silver medal here.
Yeah, I thought she was by far the best. I mean, we agreed. It's only right that she get the award. Well, this is Molly Kreklo of the United States, chosen as the best setter. This is really interesting because she is filled in and wasn't expected to, because Alicia Glass, who was voted the best setter at the World Championships, and now the question is, she was the best setter here at the World Grand Prix, and congratulations to Molly Kreklo, just turned 23 years of age recently. There's a chance that she won't even make the team to go to the World Cup if Alicia Glass comes back and Courtney Thompson, who has got that backup, that double sub role completely firmed up. It's going to be very hard for Kreklo. Here she is, an award winner, and then to stay on the team.
That's an interesting dilemma that Karchgaray has. Does he say, well, I'll tell you what, let's put Kreklo into the second spot and drop Courtney Thompson, or as you say, does he just drop Kreklo? So it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, it depends on the health of Alicia Glass. And that's still, of course, you don't want to earn a spot because somebody else gets hurt. But if everybody's healthy, if Alicia Glass is 100%, she may well be off the roster. And this was an easy one as well. Natalia Goncharova, the leading scorer in the tournament. What a magnificent athlete, just day after day after day, putting up huge numbers for Russia. And even today against Japan, in a match that without her they could have won. I mean, she just did a super job.
She's been impressive from spike 1 to spike 101.
Much deserved and an easy decision, Natalia Goncharova. I would put her in the top 5 players in the world right now.
Easily.
The most valuable player. Karstalo is the most valuable player. How about that? You know how many international tournaments she's played in?
Tell me.
One. This is the first.
There you go. Well, to be fair, when I saw that she was playing in Puerto Rico, after seeing her playing in the first, I'm thinking there's no way she should be playing in Puerto Rico, and she won't be playing there for very much longer. What an impact! What a great player!
Tremendous. Leading scorer for the United States throughout. The award will be presented by President of the FIVB, the International Volleyball Federation, Dr. Adi Grasa. Good of Dr. Grasa to be here, because I got to tell you a little inside, he has been really suffering with a painful back injury, so good for him. Congratulations, Karstalo. First year. I mean, obviously she's represented the United States in under 21, under 18, but her first time with the senior national team. The most valuable player and $15,000. So there is your all-star team, starting with the best outside hitter, Natalia Pereira, and then Kelsey Robinson at the outside, Juseli and Krista Dietzen, the top middle blockers, Anna Malova, the top libero, Molly Kreklo, the top setter, Natalia Goncharova, the top opposite spiker, and the United States, Karstalo, the most valuable player. Nicely done. Outstanding group.
It really would be a dream team, wouldn't it, if they were to get to play together?
Who'd play the opposite? Goncharova. I'd take Goncharova at this point. The United States won the World Championship, and Karstalo was still in college at the time. And now we'll have the awards for the teams. Brazil finished third, Russia finished second, and the United States takes home the gold medal. So there are your individual award winners, and now it will be the team awards and the playing of the national anthem for the United States as they take home this crown for the 6th time.
When you look around at the teams currently playing the elite in the world of women's volleyball, and we're just over 12 months away from the Olympic Games, it's got to be USA have got to be thinking seriously. We're really good contenders here.
Oh, no question. But I still, as good as the United States is, as deep as they are, you still can only take 12 players. It doesn't do you, so what if you have 50? You can only take 12. And Brazil, to a degree, is going to be faced with the same quandary, but their core group is very much still set. I think it'll be the same starting lineup for Brazil in Rio as it was in London. I think it'll be exactly the same starting lineup if everybody is healthy. For the United States, any number of changes. Alicia Glass, if she's healthy, she will be new at the setting position. Karstalo, Faluk Akinradowo, and Krista Dietzen will be back as the middle blockers. Jordan Larson-Burbach will be back as one of the outside hitters. Kim Hill is new. So the United States roster has gone through a fair amount of turnover, but I would still give Brazil, I don't know how to quantify it, but some edge, certainly because they're playing at home, to win the gold medal for the 3rd straight time. And here's the team for the bronze medal, the delegation from Brazil. They've won this title on 10 occasions, and of course, of all of you know who follow volleyball, this was not the best team that they could have sent, but for obvious reasons, to rest and have some players recuperate. And also there were the Pan American Games going on at the same time. Jacqueline Carvalho, along with Figueiredo, were both in Toronto at the Pan American Games, where Brazil finished second to the United States. The United States takes the gold, and Russia will take the silver.
It's been a fantastic week of volleyball, and even as we've said throughout, it's a grueling schedule. You're playing every day. The level has just been superb from start to finish.
Yeah, it's been fun to cover. I've enjoyed it. And again, the people have been very hospitable. Obviously, the crowds pretty good when the United States has been playing, as might be expected. When I was in Tokyo the year before for the Grand Prix finals, it's exactly the same when the Japanese are playing, and fairly light otherwise when non-host teams are in the building, if you will. I want to thank everybody, of course, in our wonderful production crew who has been working so many long hours at the cameras and at the audio panel and at the graphics table and everything else. You all know who you are. I'll get in trouble if I mention your names, but you all know who you are, and thank you so much for working so long and so hard. We have done all the matches here, and so it's been a lot of work sending the signal out around the world, so I hope all of you have enjoyed it, whether on television or watching it streamed or on the YouTube channel. There is Brazil standing to acknowledge their bronze medal performance. The bronze plate and the check and the medals will be presented by Mr. Stav Jacoby, FIVB executive member, accompanied by Mrs. Sue Melot, regional commissioner from this part of the United States, out of what's called the Great Plains USA Volleyball region. And Danny Lins, the captain, will take the plate.
Sasa started as the libero at the start of this tournament, but didn't last particularly long on court, having switched from being an outside hitter. But has come in really to fill a role here, I think, just to keep the team, and because she's got all that experience with what is a particularly young team that have come to this tournament. But sometimes when you pick a squad and you come to tournament, you pick players for certain things they can bring to what's going on. Some of that might not necessarily be on court.
Right, very, very, very true. Players are a long way from home. Just one quick correction. This is Mrs. Marta Centeno de Sage, FIVB Executive Vice President, who is presenting these awards. Sometimes you got to go off script, you know? Now's not the time as we honor Brazil, but they got to do something about raising the prize money. Sorry, this just is not enough, especially when the men win $1 million for first prize at the World League. Second prize is $500,000 and third prize is $300,000. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, all I'll say is it's a very big check, but not in terms of the value.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Time to join the 21st century. Now the check and the commemorative plate will be presented to the second place team, the silver medal winners from Russia. Funny. All of the audience watching, of course, is over here. They made a joke out of it by turning around to, what is it, about 99% empty seats. That was kind of funny. This is Mr. Stav Jacoby on the left of your screen, FIVB executive member, along with Mr. Jay Lerner, chairperson of the local organizing committee, who will be presenting the check and the plate to Russia.
Kostianenko's done a good job all week, actually.
Yeah,
He's tried to distribute the ball well, but when you've got a player like Goncharova there, the temptation is to keep going to her. I think she did particularly well not to exclusively go to her, but every time they needed to get the ball away, then Goncharova was the person she would try and find.
You know, it's interesting. I've been thinking about Russia a lot and the way they played over the last 6 or 7 years, when their elite level after winning in 2010 at the World Championships has gone down a bit. And I think they have become so reliant on players like Goncharova and Gamova, of course, among others, that rather than demand of themselves that they pass the ball perfectly right to the net, since they're going to set the ball to the outside anyway, they're perfectly satisfied to pass the ball 3 meters off the net. Well, I'll tell you what, the world has caught up. Russia cannot win medals at major competitions when everybody is there in full force unless they start passing the ball much better and start involving their middles in a big way. Just can't do it.
Well, it's criminal when you have someone as talented as all over and as tall as all over, and she has a total of less than 6 kills in a tournament.
5 kills in the entire tournament. So Russia takes the silver medal. They've won this competition just on one occasion. Oh, they broke out the selfie stick.
Ha!
I hate those things.
Well, you don't need one. Your arms are long enough. Paul.
Well, almost. Do you know how many selfies I've taken?
0.
0. So Russia will take a break like the United States, and then they will get hard back into training to get ready for the first chance to qualify for the Olympic Games in Japan. The Grand Prix starts on August 22nd, concludes for the women on September 6th. There is Doug Beal, my former coach, on the left, now Chief Executive Officer of USA Volleyball, accompanied once again by Dr. Ari Grasa, President of the FIVB. They'll be presenting the winner's check and the plate, and then the medals to the American women who have won this title for the 5th time. They won it first in 1995. They won it again in 2001. Won 3 straight titles in 2010, 11, and 12. And then are back atop the podium once again for their 6th overall championship in this elite competition.
Oh, without question, the best team here.
Yeah.
The best strength in depth.
Well, and also in full disclosure, the only team with their full, most complete roster at these championships. But no matter where the finals were held, in this year before the World Cup, Karch Kirai, if the finals were in Tokyo, if the finals were in Ningbo or in Beijing, Karch Kirai told me that he would have sent absolutely his strongest team because it's essential that they get matches before the World Cup.
Well, you've got to play who's in front of you, so if another team doesn't play or bring their best players, that's nothing you can do. You just have to play what's in front of you.
Exactly right. Just for the overall good of this tournament going forward, I'd like to see the FIVB put their smartest heads together and come up with a way. And maybe one of the ways is, you know, making the prize money equal to the men. Maybe that will be enough of an incentive, maybe not. But they can figure out a way to certainly motivate all the top teams in the world to send their best representation. This is a difficult year because what's most important, of course, this year is qualifying for Brazil in the Rio de Janeiro Olympics, which start on August 6th. Kim Hill, most valuable player at the last World Championships. Tamamiya Shiro. This is such a deep team, and one of the interesting things, at all of these FIVB international tournaments, the Grand Prix, the World League, the Grand Champions Cup, the World Cup, teams can bring a roster of 14. At the Olympic Games, it's only 12. That should be changed as well, but it's difficult because then you got to expand it for every team sport, if you will, for field hockey, for take your pick, and that adds to the expense, and you know, that has to be taken into consideration. Congratulations to the United States women winning this championship for the 6th time. The presentation of the trophy was nicely done earlier on. As soon as the United States won their match earlier today against China, and they, of course, were assured to be the winners. They had actually accomplished that yesterday. Dr. Ari Grasa came out, presented Krista Dietzen with the trophy, and that was very nicely done. The United States, the champions of the Grand Prix. Now for the playing of the national anthem for the winning team from the USA. So that wraps up the closing ceremonies and the presentation of awards. The United States takes home $200,000. Clayton Lucas enjoyed the week. Absolutely. And just your thoughts on the tournament so far and what you think will happen at the upcoming World Cup.
Well, I've really enjoyed the tournament this week. I've been very impressed with the level from start to finish, despite the fact they've played every single day. And I'm really looking forward to see who's going to come out on top in the World Cup. So many good teams that will be there. I think the team in the picture really have a good chance to medal. Whether or not they'll get gold remains to be seen. But under Coach Kirai's guidance, they've got a great chance of doing that.
Once again, the United States, the winners, followed by Russia taking the silver, Brazil with the bronze. Karsta Lowe was your most valuable player for the United States. Thanks so much for watching our coverage all week long, and be sure to check out FIVB.com for the upcoming schedule at the World Cup and the YouTube channel for all of the coverage there. For Clayton Lucas, I'm Paul Sunderland, and for our entire crew here all week long in Omaha, so long, everybody.